Today we're here with Ben Barton, and we're going to be talking a little bit about this past season and the ups and downs of it. You started out last season, with a knee surgery at the beginning of the year. Can you talk a little bit about what your thoughts were on that, the recovery process, and going into that?
Well, I tried focusing on, I couldn't wrestle for about 6 months, and so I focused on trying to get more flexible and really tried focusing on that and lifting weights like upper body, and it actually showed during the season. I was able, the flexibility in wrestling helps out tremendously. So it showed this season, and I was really glad that I did it.
Yeah, and then, at the beginning of the season, the other thing that you struggled a little bit with was sickness at the beginning of the year. What was your mindset and your mentality? Were you worried going into the season all being sick, or where was your mind at that time?
I would say, at the beginning of the year, I was in wrestle-offs, and I was a little sick, but it didn't really bother me that much. And then right after, or shortly after wrestle-offs, that's when I started getting really sick. And, I kept dealing with injuries and sickness throughout the season. And to finally get my break towards the middle of the season in January, I started wrestling really well and got into the lineup and just exploded. First match, was wrestled a really tough kid, and I did really well against him. And it definitely, I was definitely shocked a little bit. I don't know if shocked's the right word, but I was feeling a little down at times, and there are certain people that brought me up, like my roommate Quentin, and just certain teammates and the coaches. They always believed in me, and they were there for me.
Man, and I think that's important that you get into that a little bit, because although you were out injured a little bit, you came back, and you came back big. You won your first dual meet match, pretty big. What was that victory like? What was it like finally being back on the mat wrestling?
For wrestling at Campbell, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, especially the dominating fashion that I did. But yeah, I was ready to go. Once I got on the mat and once I wrestled really well, and I was like, I want to wrestle again. I want to go again. I want to keep this going. I want to keep the ball rolling. And I did. I ended up winning the SoCon championship.
Right, and that's the next thing. So you won the SoCon championship at 157 pounds after a big win in the semis and the finals, and you guys won the team title. So, what was it like to win that SoCon championship? What was going through your head at that time?
I was just I wanted to get to nationals. I realized I had a big opportunity to go, especially from where I was at the beginning of the season. I didn't even know if I was still thinking about maybe redshirting, or didn't know if they were going to pull it or not. And I was just focused on getting to nationals and to help the team out as much as I could, put those points up on the board, get those big wins. And that's how big my semifinals match was, really big, because it was against an App State wrestler. So
Right. And it's great to get those big wins, especially being back in the lineup. Now, the other thing too is you shared that feeling with a couple of your other teammates who also won SoCon championships. What was it like, being a part of that team, winning as individuals, but also winning the team title? What was that like?
it was pretty cool, especially because we didn't know how we were going to be this year. We knew we would be good as a team, but we just we started off strong and then we ended strong. And there were 3 other guys who won it, and it's pretty cool, not being the only one or anything like that, to, just have some guys around us, and then the whole team winning it, regular season and the conference postseason. It was pretty cool. It was awesome.
Absolutely. And then from there, you qualified for nationals for the first time. You get to wrestle on the big stage. What was that like, walking out there in Pittsburgh and wrestling, in front of all those fans?
It was pretty cool. I didn't want to get too shell-shocked about the atmosphere or anything like that. And I just kind of focused in on what I needed to do to win, what I needed to do to score points. And, it might not have been the way that I wanted, but it was definitely a learning experience.
Yeah, and I feel like, for you, a lot of this season probably has been a learning experience with the ups and the downs. What lessons do you think, people can really learn from, and what have you taken away from this past season?
It's a long season, so just because something's not working out for you at the beginning of the year doesn't mean that's how it's going to go the whole season. And I guess that's the biggest thing that I pulled from it is, just keep working hard, try to keep your head in the right spot, and just stay focused.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts now going into next season? As far as training the off season or just going into next year, what are some of your thoughts going into that?
I'm going to definitely try and open up my offense more. I'm focusing on even getting more flexible and just building up my strength. I felt I was a little bit smaller this year at 57 than I was at 49, and I'm looking to get bigger and be able to just be a force to reckon with.